Hey everybody, Koricon here, and we're going to talk about Halloween. This is a spoiler-free review. I did a spoiler talk live stream on Aristotle Full Throttle's channel, so if you want to check that out, link in the description below. This movie is directed by David Gordon Green. He also co-wrote it. It is executive produced by John Carpenter, who also co-wrote the music. So he's back to help make this movie. I'm not sure how much he had to do with the influence on the film, but he had a lot to do with the music, which was great. It's nice to see him back on that. Jamie Lee Curtis is back as Laurie Strode, and Judy Greer plays her daughter Karen, and Andy Matichek plays the granddaughter Allison. And we also, which I really liked, was Nick Castle, who played The Shape, or Michael Myers in the original movie in 1978, came back to play a little bit, but also help the new guy, James Jude Courtney, who was a little bit younger and able to do some of the more active scenes. He trained him to be Michael Myers, how he moves, how he walks, how he kills, basically what his character would be like. I find this very important because Nick Castle really set the tone of what Michael Myers was and how he acted. And he did little things like, one of my favorite that sticks in my head is in the original movie when he stabbed the kid into the wall. He looked at him and did a head tilt, which was kind of like a sign of curiosity, shows that he has no remorse. He feels nothing for it. He's just this killing machine. And just as like Mayhew had trained the new guy to be Chewbacca in Star Wars, I think it was really important, and I liked that Castle came back for Michael Myers. This movie retconned all of the sequels, including Halloween 2, which was kind of done before. Halloween H2O, that had come out a while ago, had retconned all of the other sequels but kept Halloween 2. This one retconned everything including Halloween 2 and just kept Carpenter's first movie. We've seen this before where the original creator comes back to make another movie and retcon a lot of the sequels from the series that they weren't involved with. Wes Craven did that with Nightmare on Elm Street. He did the first movie, wasn't involved with the sequels, and then came back to make a new Nightmare. Now, in that case, he wrote and directed it. John Carpenter didn't do that in this movie, but I still feel like he wanted to be involved and bring the movie back to the tone and feel of the original film from '78. The movie takes place 40 years after the first film. Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode, has become extremely traumatized by the events of 1978, and she kind of became this Sarah Connor character where she becomes really prepared. She's a sharpshooter with shotguns and pistols now. She raised her daughter Karen to be able to protect herself and get ready for the return of Michael Myers. And she hopes that Myers would escape so that she could kill him and get closure for all of the trauma that happened. I really like this movie. I had a fun time at the theater. Me and my brother both liked it. I did have some problems, and I'll get a little bit into that, but this is spoiler-free. The movie starts with a couple of podcasters that you saw in the trailer that were trying to figure out like why Myers did what he did, maybe get some new insight. They tend to do this with other cases. I didn't feel that they were necessary. They were basically there to give us some exposition, and then like in the trailer you saw that they died. And so they were there and then they were gone. But if you cut their characters out of the film, I don't think it would change anything. And I think it would have been a little bit better. You could still have a lot of the kills that happened in the beginning. You could even kill them as just side characters without having all of that time with them. I think it was just kind of wasted time and a little bit to have somebody go and see Myers while he was at the insane asylum, which was a neat scene. I liked the way it looked. Reminded me a bit of Hannibal Lecter You know how they keep him separated with chained up with a line around him. But I didn't think it was that necessary. Myers escapes again. The downside for me is he escapes the exact same way that he did in the first movie. I would have liked maybe a different way of him escaping. And then goes back to Haddonfield and, starts killing people. Now, one of the things I really liked was the cinematography and the camera work really felt like the original movie again. So you had that same long non-edit shots, which I love those. If those of you that know me, I really like long sequences that are not edited down. And the kills were way more violent, except you didn't actually see the kills for about half of them, but you saw the aftermath. And I liked that. I thought that was pretty cool. You didn't have to show him do the killing. And there was a little bit of a twist in there that I won't get into, but we'll talk about that in the spoiler video with Aristotle if you want to go and watch that. I'm glad the movie is making a lot of money. It's great for horror fans like me. The only thing I'm worried about is they're probably trying to set this up to be able to do more sequels. There's some great humor in the film as well. And I think the humor kind of took away from some of the tension. It wasn't really placed in the right spot. A lot of times when you have humor in horror movies, it's because you have this huge buildup of tension. There's a scare or a payoff of the tension, and then you use humor to try and, make the audience feel at ease before you go into the next one. But there were moments where the humor was like in the middle of the tension and it brought it down too soon. But I liked the humorous moments. I wanted them to keep those. I just wish they had put them in a different part of the film so it doesn't interrupt that tension. Overall, I really liked the film. It was nice to see it come back. John Carpenter's music was awesome. It still sounded like he used the same synthesizer that he did in '78, but there was some new music in there, which sounded great. Overall, I'm going to give Halloween 2018 a solid B. If you're a fan of the original Halloween, I think you'll like it. Most of you. Some people, I think, don't like it. But I did, and I'm a huge fan. So there's a high possibility that you'll like the movie. I suggest seeing it. I wish they didn't call it Halloween, though, because the first movie is called Halloween. So now we have to distinguish with the year. Halloween 78, Halloween 2018. Maybe put a subtitle in there or a secondary title. Even name it something else. I don't know. We have 3 movies now named just Halloween. But what do you guys think? Comment below and let me know. Links to all of my stuff is in the description below, so check that out. And I will see you guys on the next video.